And right before I left, I had talked him down to 50,000. Actually, what I had done was ask the pastors to go to the property, put some bricks on the property, and they prayed over the area. And then we called back, and he said 50,000. But we were in prayer for about 2 weeks. And so it dropped from 75 to 50. So we're actually praying that we get the money to actually buy the property. And then after that, we can start buying bricks to actually start laying the foundation for the property.
Now, do you find out that most of the skill of laying the foundation and actually building, are you finding that most of the people who you have a relationship with there in Africa have that type of skill to do that type of work? Or would you have to bring in somebody like contractually that has expertise in that area?
We would need a contractor, plus we use the volunteers. We have a vocational training center that has 4 pieces. It's brick masonry and carpentry, cooking. Also, we have, adding this year, hair salon, styling and hair salon. We're trying to train the people how to be able to sustain themselves so that they don't have to rely on others when they're in poverty. And sewing school as well. So those are things that we have set up already. So once we get the mission center up and running, we would take the students through vocational training. And then at that time, they'll be able to get jobs.
So is Christianity the predominant faith there in Tanzania, or are there other faiths in the area that's more predominant?
In Tanzania and East Africa, mainly is Islam and Muslim.
Okay.
It's about 30% or more Christian, but the main areas are Islam and Muslim.
Okay. Have you found yourself being there, thinking about leaving at any time?
Sometimes I just want to have a hot shower and get my hair washed.
See, I know those natural thoughts have to come sometimes. You always have those natural thoughts that you...
It's like if I can just get a hot shower and get my hair washed, I would be okay. But after that passed, then I'm okay.
Well, I'm sorry for the news, from the standpoint of you being brought here because of your dad. Did your dad have a relationship with God?
My dad, yes. He was a pastor,
right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. So that's good news then.
Yes.
That's really good news. I'm just saying, we just wish you could come more often.
It would be a blessing.
And share the work.
Yes.
But now I hear that since you've been there, you've been married?
Yes.
Okay. Explain how that happened.
It's interesting. We were in the mission field together. Actually, I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was a driver of the vehicle, because many times we would ask people to drive for us when we would go in the field. Sometimes it's 5 hours, sometimes it's 6 hours. And at the time, like I said, I didn't pay much attention to him because I was not ever interested in getting married, ever. She can attest to that. I was so blessed by God, just knowing God. I thought marriage would be an interruption. And so I really love working for the Lord. And so when this older lady went with me on the mission field, before we left, she reached out his hand and she took his hand and she said something like, "Boaz, this is your Ruth," or whatever. I didn't pay attention at the time because I was trying to get everything together to leave, to come back to America. And so I guess they had been having conversations about me the whole time, and me not knowing that. So when I came back to America and went back to Tanzania, he came with his pastor to ask me for marriage. And I was just so shocked. I didn't know what to do, and I just told him, "No, go away, because I don't want to marry anyone. I don't think you know what you're asking." I was letting him know he didn't know what he was asking, And so it just surprised me. He persisted, and every time he would bring his pastor or someone else, So I had previously met his daughter, not knowing that.
Hold on a second. Now, he brought his pastor. Let me just make sure I understand. Was he bringing his pastor to show you that he's under authority, or was he bringing his pastor because he wanted the marriage ceremony to go on right then and there?
I'm not sure, really.
Okay. I was just wondering about that. That's
because I couldn't believe it. I was just shocked.
Right.
And so I had met his daughter before because when we were at the mission center, we would have the young girls who didn't have family or parents, they would come and stay there. And so when they would come and stay there, you know, we would show them different things, how to work, how to maintain a house, how to cook for people. So it was a blessing. So then he told me, well, you know, my daughter was here with you for 2 weeks, and she wants you to be her mother. And so I was just still shocked because I'm thinking, she wants me to be her mother. Okay, this is good, but can I be her mother without, you know, being married to you? And he said no. And so I was like, okay, so I didn't think about it anymore. And then after that, one of the pastors had set him up to take me to a wedding ceremony of one of his friends. And so the pastor and his wife were supposed to go with us. And so I had gotten dressed, and he had showed up at the center with no one in the truck but him. And so I was very shocked because the young girl that was there with me had left. And I had said to him, well, I can't get in the truck with you by myself because there's no one else in here. He said, oh, no problem. I will call her. We can pick her on the way. And I said, okay. So I got in the truck. And as we was driving, she was right there on the side of the road. So I said, he told the truth. And so
man of integrity. Okay.
I told her to get in the vehicle, and she got in the vehicle because, you know, it's not good for a woman to be in the vehicle with a man in the foreign country. Their rules are totally different than ours. So
unless you're married?
Unless you're married,
Now,
yes.
do you have to prove that you're married, or how do they know you weren't married?
Oh, well, basically, I guess, I mean, when you come, they know your history.
Okay.
Like, so basically, it's just that way, I guess, for safety and for keeping down rumors and gossip or whatever, which is a good thing. So we went to this wedding celebration, and I had never had on shoes. You know, I always wear those Jesus sandals most of the time because that's the only thing I could move around in, you know, using my stick without falling down. And so I had some little shoes on, and I was trying to wear them, and when I tried to get out of the vehicle, the young girl noticed that I couldn't walk with them. So she just put her arms around me. She says, you look really pretty today, so let's pretend that you can walk on your own. So she put her arms around me, and then the pastor's wife came up on the other side. So they assisted me the whole time. So it was very graciously, you know, I was going to this wedding. And so when we got there, it was like 35 pastors in the room sitting there waiting to interview me for marriage. And so...
Hold up.
Yes.
Hold up. Are you saying, I have to have these moments, I'm sorry. Are you telling me there was 35 pastors interviewing you about the young man who brought you, or they wanted? They
wanted to marry me.
Wow, 35. This sounds like one of those reality shows, Christian pastor reality show or something.
It may have been more. I was so shocked. She said, you know why they're here? They're asking the pastor. All of them are asking about you. And I'm like, okay, let's go, please. You know, because I got offended. It's like, because you're single, everyone assumed you're looking for a husband. And I was very happy being single. I mean, very, very happy.
That's when God usually brings your husband or wife. You notice that?
Interruption.
I say the same thing. I was really content in my walk.
Yes.
I was just telling God, you know, Lord, I'll be like the Apostle Paul. I don't have to get married, you know. That's what I was feeling. And the Lord knew, yeah, I appreciate your heart, son, but no, I created you for marriage, you know. So that's beautiful.
That was funny because while they were there, I guess he heard the news that the people, that they were in there and they were trying to talk to me. So all of a sudden he showed up right beside me, standing there on the wall, and everyone disappeared. All of them disappeared, like they ran. And I just turned and looked, and I was like, oh, thank God. You know, I was glad they were gone, but I didn't realize that he was the one that ran them away. He just stood there. He didn't say anything, and they left. And I said, okay, Lord, show me something else, you know.
He might have been signing with his eyes.
He may have been.